Hi, it's Dia. I'm happy to say that my newest coloring book, Cute Mushrooms, is available. And today I'm going to be coloring 2 quick images from that book. The book has 50 images and is basically for kids, but for the young at heart too. The first video will be featuring these Tombow watercolor markers and some colored pencil over the top of the watercolor markers. And then good old-fashioned Crayola crayons for the second picture. So for this first version, I figured I would chat a little bit while I'm doing this. And then for the second one with the crayons, I'm just going to leave it real time and you can color along. So what I did here was I chose 2 different color reds, a dark and a light, and I filled in the hearts. And I realized that I probably should have done it the other way because those agaricus type mushrooms are typically red as a background, but oh well. So here we go. We'll just do it this way. I also decided to use that same darker red to fill in the heart that this little guy's holding. The Tombow markers that I have don't have color names, but they have numbers. And this one was 020, and it's the lightest one in the set other than the blender. And I kind of did these little sections individually at first because I wasn't sure if the black was going to spread all over the place because it is watercolor. But then I got a little impatient over here, as you can see, and I just started to go through it, and there was no bleeding or murking up of the color. And then I took a slightly darker color in the set, which is 992, and I just added a little bit of shadow. Markers are not my choice to color, typically. So I figured, why not? Let's give this a whirl. And not that I was nervous, but I didn't know how it was going to come out. But I really thought this was fun. I added a little bit of detail, but I didn't want to go too crazy. I don't know why, just because I thought the picture was so simple. And then I took N79, I think. Well, it was either N79 or 992 again, and I just colored in the tree trunk. I kept it vertical because typically the texture on the trees would typically be up and down, vertical. I guess I wanted it to be somewhat realistic as a cartoon could be. I did the leaf, and you can choose any kind of green you want. I used the same color that I used for underneath the mushroom. Another light brown for some shading on the side. And I ended up outlining or inlining or lining the interior with the shadow, I think pretty much on everything. I put it underneath, I put it on the tree trunk. I like the color, and it was sort of neutral. We're at this part. Let's see what this was. This was colored pencil. Let's see. This was a really light warm gray, and it was a polychromos pencil. And I was not being neat here at all, as you can tell. I just went over the whole thing. My goal was to try to do it in 5 minutes for each picture, and I obviously failed miserably, but it's okay. I think I realized so many people were coloring, and it actually became unfun for some because it was just too much stress. It was trying to pick up these amazing techniques and, trying to do fancy things, trying to make it look amazing when it should just be fun. And that's another reason I put this book out. First of all, I wanted to do something for kids that was just really lighthearted and happy with no agenda attached to it. And this seemed like it fit. And plus, I also read that when kids see smiling, happy faces, that they feel better and they get like these little serotonin hits. So this is my answer to that, a little bit, my contribution for them. But anyway, I think that anybody would be able to color this book. Kids of all ages, as the old saying goes. And I just picked 2 pink shades for that little tulip. I think you can make that tulip any color you like, of course. And here I made the fastest clouds in the world. And I tried to take up a lot of the background with white, so I didn't have to color a whole lot of blue. That is one of my favorite greens in the Faber-Castell. It's greenish yellow. Yeah, the polychromos. I love that color. I kept the green vertical for obvious reasons. And then when I did the clouds, I filled all that in horizontally. Just for a slight change in pattern. Not that it's supposed to be obvious, but maybe something registers a little tiny bit. I went over the whole mushroom a little bit with warm gray 1 just to see if it was worth it to blend it. I don't know if the payoff was worth it, but I had fun doing it. I added the same color to the edges of the hearts to make it look a little bit shiny, along with the black eyes. I blended in the tulip, and I regretted it because I forgot it was gray. Not a big deal. And now, really fast sky coloring. Let's see what color that is. For anybody who's interested, that is light ultramarine. And voila, version 1 of Mushroom Valentine. And now for version 2, same exact picture, but kind of reversed. I'm going to do the background of what is supposed to be a version of the agaricus mushroom. So the background is, let's see, I think red violet. And then right in the middle, I used a lighter red. Actually, I think that was rouge. And then in the middle, I used radical red right there. I also discovered there's really no blending like you can blend with colored pencils. So if you want to blend, you're going to, meaning with crayons, you have to sort of do a very light layer first and then go over it a little bit with either the same color in a slightly different direction or a second or even a third color. And if you keep the pressure light enough, you can make some really interesting things. And I'll show you that at the end. Well, near the end when I'm starting to getting close. When I'm getting close to finishing. And just so you know, all the information for the new book is located in the links below. It's an easy click. It takes you right over to Amazon. And within the next few days, I'll also have a PDF up on Etsy, which I will also add here. I don't know if you know this, I don't know if I mentioned this in any other videos, but I've been working as a children's book illustrator for the past few years, and it requires me to draw differently and color differently and use different medium, like I use Procreate quite a bit. And I think that's at least part of the reason that I wanted to do this super simple book. Because number one, a lot of times when I have to draw the initial idea for a picture, I use crayons or really cheap pencils just to sketch out what I think it should look like. And it's so easy to do, and it's so much fun. And every time I color using either just basic Crayola crayons or like the cheaper pencils or just something super simple, I feel a certain freedom to that. And I wanted to incorporate that in a book. So this is the first one in a series. And anyway, I had so much fun using the crayons just because it's just, well, first of all, you can color 20 times faster than with a pencil. And it just takes you back to being a kid. The crayons smell good. The colors are amazing. I mean, they're super waxy, but of course they are. You kind of expect it and you're used to it from when you were a kid. I have to say though, I feel like the colors were more pigmented when I was younger. I could be wrong, and I do miss some of the old colors. It was kind of hard to get adjusted to these. I'm kind of in the mood to dig through my old stuff and see if I can come up with like an original box of crayons and see if I can compare the old pigment to the new pigment. So I'll be just coloring a little bit using basic colors from the Crayola set. And then at the very end, I'll show you how I did a little bit of the shading, and then we can figure out which picture came out better or which one you like better. Okay, see you later. right around here, I discovered a new color by Crayola called Shadow. I can't even tell you what this is. It's like a brownish, greenish, grayish, and it's like the perfect shadow color. As you can see, I'm making some texture in the bark here, and then a little bit later, I'll be making texture on the edge of the mushroom and underneath in the, is it gills? in the area underneath, also known as the lamella. Those are those little papery, fibery things underneath the mushroom. It made them a little bit, it made them look a little bit more detailed. You can never get super details with crayons because even if you make it really sharp, it does not stay sharp long. See, I'm using the same color in that area under the tree. I'm sorry, under the mushroom. Adding some dimension. If you put dark around the edges, it makes the center stand out a little more. I didn't really think too much about it because it's just fun. I started to do the grass. I think that's asparagus. I started with a lighter color and then I went over it because the lighter color really didn't show much over the tree trunk. And then I added some green also to the trunk of the tree because, you know, everything's sort of botanical-ish in the forest. Everything gets a little mossy. And then I used the same color. And I didn't want to make the picture exactly the same, obviously. And I just sort of gave an idea of the green area that this tree stump was sitting in. I decided to go over everything with Razzle Dazzle Rose because why not? I was having fun. And I went darkest here, and then I just very lightly colored over rouge. I ended up talking in this video more than I thought I was going to. That is Shadow again. And I just started to make the lamella or gills underneath a little bit more detailed. I made it the darkest in the center, and then a little bit lighter as it went out, and then once again a little bit darker right underneath of the area that would be the lip by the red. I colored the flower in a neon color. It was one of the oranges. I think it was Atomic Tangerine. And then I gave him cute cheeks. I think that was also Razzle Dazzle Rose. And I put the same rose a little bit where his nose might be and on the corners of his mouth to make him look sweet and cute. That was the fan I thought was going to take the extra little dust away from the crayon. Oh, but it didn't. There's a lot of dust. That was me saying hello to my bird. So anyway, you're going to have to wipe the crayon dust away often. Worth it. It's so much fun. So I just kept adding a little bit of shadows, and for the hearts, I didn't want to leave them just white. So what I did was use a little bit of robin's egg blue and some pink and some purple and some green. And I just sort of turned them into little bubbles. Not bubbles, but you know, the colors that you would see in a bubble floating outside on a nice summer day. I also didn't want to do the same background as the other one with the clouds. So what color did I use? I didn't want to use sky blue. I think I used the robin's egg blue also for the background. Oh, there's a little bit of the green. And here's me trying to figure out what color should be the background. Yep, and I picked that sort of aquamarine blue. It just, I loved it with the pinky top. So this was really fun. I'll be doing some more videos. Let me know if you like the crayon videos or you want more details, or if you want me to make them into like very fancy images or paint. Let me know what you think. There'll be a giveaway possibly in the next video because there was an error in the first few books that were printed, meaning the actual physical books. So there'll be a giveaway based around that, and the PDF will be out soon also. So that's about it for now. Thanks for hanging out with me and my new book, and look for the link below. And there it is. And let me know, which one of these did you like better? The crayons or the markers and the pencils? I like the crayons, but that's just me. Here's the other one. Have a lovely day. Bye.